Dons of playing in shadow mode. Of course, we can't discuss the DOS without the don'ts, and we've got a couple no-nos every Shadow Fight 3 player should remember when hitting that shadow button. First of all, you should not let your defensive guard down at any point as a shadow. Enemies would still be able to attack you, and do essentially the same amount of damage as they would, had you been in regular form. Shadow mode should not be misconstrued as a pure fever mode with temporary invincibility, because as you may have already found out, the game's AI can decimate you even if you're in shadow form if you miss all your special skill attacks and or get painted into a corner. Next, don't use your shadow energy toward the end of a round, unless you're deadlocked at 1-all, 2-all for boss fights, and needing to pull off a desperate win in the deciding round's final seconds. It's best if you save it for the starts of subsequent rounds after the first, but if you use it toward the end of the round, especially the first, you'll likely get burned by your opponent, due to the very small margin of error you will most likely have. Lastly, don't randomly use your shadow skills against an enemy. This can be avoided by reading up on them before battle, but we admit it can sometimes be tough not to get lost in the passion of things. Be careful when executing those skills, because it's easy to waste them because your opponent has somehow mastered your game plan, or if there's too little time to realistically catch up in the early rounds. Should you save for those expensive card packs? Normally, your best option when buying card packs, or booster packs, from the in-game store, would be to go for the cheapest option. That's the one that will set you back by 1,000 coins or 10 gems, and in that pack you'll get one guaranteed rare. The other options, such as the epic and legendary packs, can only be bought with gems, and you're probably aware that gems tend to trickle in this game, or in other words, come in very slowly. With that in mind, we recommend saving at least once, though not necessarily right away. For the epic pack, 400 gems in stage 1, it's going to take a while, but aside from the usual sources of free gems, there's Attack Joy Offer Wall available in Shadow Fight 3. As well as gems from other game modes, such as duels, that could slowly, but surely add to your total. What are the best weapons to use? This one's a case that largely boils down to your mileage may vary. Each of the weapon types in this game can be used in a variety of situations, depending on what those situations are. But if we are to speak in general and name a few favorites, the staff is good for long-ranged attacks, and smaller, lighter weapons like the labrices, smaller axes, allow you to hit hard without sacrificing too much quickness. The spear-type weapons, on the other hand, are a bit harder to learn. They can take out a great deal of HP if you know how to use them against enemies, but otherwise, they're big and heavy and could make your character look too fat and slow for their own good.
That's it, Brian? Yes.